what I really want to make clear is old guys like me don't like the idea that there's going to be this crossing of the lines or crossing of the streams. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Ghostbusters fan, you know what I'm talking about, right? Halo on PS5, like honestly, very big cringe still to me. It don't feel right, but it is a business reality. Sony's going to get there. And that's going to be a fact. Now, how quickly they get there, I don't know.
It doesn't matter what you think.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, today we got that next dose of the salty batch files, and boy, have things been a doozy as of late. The shilling, the frauding, the grifting is at an all-time high, and we have more of it here, and we have some more things to speak about. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I said, what we're going to do is jump right to it. We got pure delusion and cope, and the hope of things that are happening for Xbox's future that makes it okay to follow that narrative, everything of that sort. So let's start off with Clute. Yeah, he's back again because of his nonsense that he says all the time. So, as we see here, PlayStation gets all Xbox games. Not untrue, because that is happening. Xbox, however, gets all PlayStation games. I'm cool with that future, he says. What's interesting about this is he's hoping, right? What does he mean by this? He's hoping that there's some sort of a Steam integration and Xbox integration in between this new handheld hybrid type of deal, or even the new next generation of Xbox, whatever that may or may not end up being, and thinking that you could play your PlayStation games on an Xbox device. Again, the hybrid device is a partner device. That's not an Xbox system. You can currently do that on your Steam Deck. You can currently do that on your ROG Ally, you can do that on your Lenovo, you can do that on a laptop, and of course you can do that on a PC, a desktop. So this is this is not the W you think it is when things are natively coming over to a PlayStation console, which is that of an Xbox first-party game, you moron. So again, just doesn't think before he puts his foot in his mouth as usual, so that's just the fact of the matter. But that being said, let's get to our next one. Yes, we have Bitch of Truth here. Once again, lying, spreading misinformation, much like they all do. He states here, as you can see, shout out to Game Pass for paving the way for subscription services, aka renting games. So they're paving a way to be this next blockbuster of sorts, or they have been. That's his iteration here. But let's keep going. Tried to tell people long ago I like to own my games, right? I like to own my games. So this is now a bad thing, by the way. He's stating, so talking point is the worst logic possible for this hobby. Gotta pause here. So now again, like we talked about in a previous video, they're trying to demonize owning your games. They're demonizing exclusive games. They're trying to make it a bad thing and make you think that renting games, not owning your games, is the way to go for the foreseeable future. All the talking heads, not even just this idiot, all of the talking heads out there, the shills, the grifters, the big journalists out there, they try to shift that narrative into something that's a positive for them, for Xbox's outcome, for their current trajectory, what that looks like. They don't care what PlayStation looks like, even though that's the way to go in regards to owning your games. And again, that doesn't have to be PlayStation. It can be Nintendo. It could be Xbox. It could be PC. Own your games. There's sales all the time, all that sort of stuff. But how asinine is it? How asinine is it to sit there and state that owning your games is a bad thing? Are they for real right now? Like, people are going to be like, owning items, owning your games, owning anything in your household, in your life is a bad thing. Now, what are we doing here? But again, he caps it off here. Like you can see circled in red, my name's Taruth for a reason, and I'm never wrong about a gaming call 100. So the fact that that's all wrong, just that statement alone, where he's wrong 99.9% of the time, R-Truth from WWE tells more truths than this guy does. He's a lot more reliable in regards to bitch of truth here. He's really horrible. I mean, he's lying all the time. And just to sit there and just play delusionally, right? I don't understand. You take a step back, right? I can only imagine somebody's at their home. They're wherever they're at. And they're just sitting there and they're like, yeah, this is fine. He's looking in the mirror on his step stool, looking in the mirror above the sink and going, you know, Truth, you really did it today. You really spread the good word. We really believe what we're saying here. I mean, if you do, guys, we need to get some help here. This is absolutely incorrect. Oh, that's so bad. But let's keep going on before we further dissect that. This is just a good example here I want to share in regards to Xbox marketing and regards to what's going on here. Now, I believe, correct me down in the comments below if this is, I don't know if this was Korea or Korean, in regards to this version of Monster Hunter Wilds, right? So as you can see in this picture here, Monster Hunter Wilds circled Xbox Series X. So this is from, of course, Faker Good Girl. I have no word. You guys are doing great. Tagging Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Capcom Official, and Xbox, of course. And as you can see at the bottom, and you may have to zoom in on here, but believe you me, it does show that you need a PSN account for some exclusive content here on an Xbox game. Obviously, that doesn't correlate. That doesn't work. So I find that really hilarious that they have that on there. Not only is it an Xbox game, Xbox first-party games are coming over to PlayStation, but also the Xbox games themselves that are third-party have at least in these versions, have a PSN logo, have some goodies there that, again, isn't going to correlate or work, but do we see how hilarious this is? And just for those of you, here's the other side of the pic, obviously, that you're seeing up there. So this is not doctored. This isn't photoshopped or fake. This is a legit thing. I just can't quite, for the life of me, remember exactly where this is at. I thought Korea. I could be wrong. But definitely let me know down in the comments below if you know if it's not that area. But just really what an oversight. I haven't seen something like this. If you guys have seen something similar to this situation in the past and maybe went over my head or I just didn't notice, certainly let me know. But this is a first to my knowledge that I've seen something like this. So I just wanted to share it. Thought it was a good laugh. Thought it was a good time and kind of shows the state of what Xbox as a whole has been these last few years, especially. And just continuing to go forward. It just a shell of their former self, and it's just insane, right? But let's keep going on here. Bernardo, he's just a person here, just commenting in regards to here. He wants to state, let me know when Sony releases a new good game. Until then, Xbox controls game sales on the competition's platform. So again, in case you don't know, this is the new narrative, right? They're thinking it's a Trojan horse type of deal, that Xbox is going to bleed dry PlayStation, so to speak, in a manner of talk, in regards to infiltrating their ecosystem with a bunch of Xbox games. If that's the case, much like this idiot here, Bernardo, actually believes, his Ubisoft, EA, every other third-party company out there, have they been bleeding PlayStation dry? Is that their goal? Is that their end game here? I mean, what? Again, the amount of delusion here, is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But I digress. Let's keep going here. So, Emiya announcing, that's how you say the name, I guess. I don't know. But Spencer, Nadella, Booty, all Microsoft higher-ups have to go from Xbox. All right. The fact that Xbox P3, tagging Phil himself, literally said Xbox games will play better on Xbox than does this garbage shows how disconnected from their platform they are. Again, I don't think it's they're disconnected. We've gone over this multiple times, Emiya. It just shows that they have no choice. They put their eggs in all one basket. We said this over and over and over again. They thought Game Pass was going to be the end-all be-all. So did everybody else on the Xbox ecosystem and the fanboys and the grifters and frauds and shills, and tried to make that happen until recently. And now it's a good thing that those games are going everywhere. It's now great. That's the way the industry is headed, folks. That's just the way it's going to be. Because Xbox says so. Nintendo and PlayStation aren't doing that now. They're not doing that anytime soon. If it does happen one day in the future, okay. But if that's the way the industry is heading now, the first ones to do that is Xbox because they failed. They failed. They didn't have to do this if they'd played their cards right, if they did the exclusive things right, if they didn't put all their eggs in one basket for Game Pass. They didn't have to do this already. Eventually, that may be a thing. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not. We have so many analysts out there that get it wrong, and they're the professionals. So for anybody to tell you which way the industry for sure is going to happen or lead towards, that's not the case, guys. Be careful who you follow. Be careful. There's always misinformation being spread all the time. So just be careful. Just a statement there. Weirdos out there like that. But let's go on to the next example. As you know, we did get Death Stranding 2, the new trailer there. Looked phenomenal. Definitely a Kojima game. Has all the bells and whistles in regards to story. Fantasy in a way, right? As far as like what that would look like in a different timeline and all that. And just has that captivating feel is what I get from those Kojima trailers personally. So just such a phenomenal person. Kojima is, and just how he puts everything together. But I just kind of want to preface that. So I thought it was a fantastic trailer. I do still need to go all the way through Death Stranding. It's definitely not like my top favorite game of all time by any means. I do need to get to it. I just wasn't in the mood to kind of play this type of game because it is a mood type of game. I will preface and say that. So this game will not be for everybody, but it will be for a lot of folks out there. Probably myself included once I get the time. However, let's get to the reason why I brought Death Stranding up here. So XBG, as you noticed, I believe this Death Stranding game is going to be on PlayStation and just PC at the time. No Xbox announcement at this time, but of course it comes out. Death Stranding 2, Xbox, Green Heart, can't wait. Well, the interesting part of this is I'm sure you can wait because that's what you as an Xbox fanboy continues to do rather than just play great games on systems, platforms, consoles that do have these games day and date. If it really is an amazing game to you, I don't know about y'all, but if I have to wait a year later rather to play a game, man, I know I have a huge backlog, don't get me wrong. But when these high-profile games, these AAA high-profile games, whether it be Death Stranding, whether it be a lot of the first-party games, right? Even of the past, if it was a Halo game I wanted to play, I'm going to play on Xbox or a PC or whatever. If it's Spider-Man, if it's The Last of Us, whatever, I'm not waiting a year to play it on PC. And again, if I'm looking at a highly acclaimed game like Death Stranding 2, or I'm looking at something like Grand Theft Auto, I'm not waiting to play these high-profile games because a lot of us have been waiting to play these games. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not like, you know, and no disrespect to Hades or something like that, the indie game Hades, the roguelike, fantastic game, loved every minute of it, but I didn't feel like I needed to get that day one, right? It was just, you know, those are the types of games I'm saying, you know, there is a backlog. It may get a lot of praise, fantastic reviews, a must play, all that stuff, but it's not that high profile game to where you have to get it day one. You can probably wait and get around to it when you have time, when you're done with the more high profile games, if that makes sense. And again, not crapping on any other smaller games out there. Tons of phenomenal games that I'm probably not even going to ever get to because, again, time's a factor. And especially when you become an adult and have a working life and family and all that, it is difficult to get to everything. So those high-profile games do take a precedence. So just to kind of preface that again, I know I'm saying that word a lot, but it really just kind of makes sense in this topic of things here. But gotta love the folks that think they can wait. I don't understand why you would want to wait, I guess is my concern here, especially for the fanboys that supposedly play so many games like myself, but they're okay with waiting. But again, another coping mechanism ultimately. But we got one more One more for Bitch of Truth. I just had to give, I don't always do them back to back because I feel like we have to take a break because the brain cell loss there is just too much. And I don't want to do that to the audience here. But Bitch of Truth back. The PlayStation console is completely irrelevant without other platforms, games, as Sony lacks the ability to keep its fans entertained with its own 100. So again, Xbox Game Pass fodder is now considered, helpings towards PlayStation because PlayStation just doesn't have the games, guys. The consoles are selling like hotcakes. They're coming off the shelves. They're doing great. They're doing bundles. They're going to be coming with the Grand Theft Auto 6 bundle. They're doing an Astrobot bundle currently with the games or with the consoles. So definitely, if you haven't, check that out. Astrobot, amazing, obviously. So check those out. But yeah, there's no games, right? I mean, the games that we're getting every year are either winning Game of the Year or they're in contention for Game of the Year. But yes, always, as always, from Bitch of Truth here, they're doing us a favor on the PlayStation ecosystem by giving us and granting us those first-party Xbox games. Doing the Lord's work out there, Xbox. Thank you so much. Just, do you see the coping? Do you see the coping theme today especially? It's really heavy this time around. It's really crazy. But that being said, let's wrap up the last example here. And again, I thought we were going to get away with a video without Colt Eastwood this time around. But again, it makes it too easy. He just has receipts all over the place. It's just too easy at this point. So again, in regards to Death Stranding, right? Death Stranding 2, Death Stranding 1, however we want to do it. I just want to show some things here. You know how he loves Death Stranding so much all of a sudden? He's responding here, as you can see, and I know we kind of covered this in a previous video, but as you look here, do you work for FedEx? And has the Photoshop deal that has the FedEx truck, and of course, Norman Reedus' character, and on and on and on, delivery simulator, making fun of it, poking fun at it, because again, guys, it wasn't available on Xbox at this time, so of course, it had to be a bad game. It had to be that walking simulator because that was the narrative surrounding it. A masterpiece from Kojima himself. They wanted to dog on. They wanted to dunk on. Really unfortunate. But as we continue here, he has another too. Sean stating, I remember whipping out a gun. Him whipping out a gun. So they're trying to make fun of, thought it was more action-oriented, right? That narrative was very unfortunate for them because they thought it was this action-esque game, maybe akin more to a Metal Gear Solid series. That was not what this was about. So they're out there attacking the premise of the game overall, how it plays, all that. And then Colt Eastwood, again, as you can see at the bottom. Or is that a FedEx package scanner? Ha ha. Again, showing that narrative there. And then, of course, after it came out, guys, Death Stranding completed. He now completed it. So glad he waited. Again, we're waiting. It's the waiting game. It's the meme of Xbox. Wait till E3. Just wait till, just wait till, just wait till. So glad I waited to play on this Xbox. It was such a perfect experience on the Xbox Series X. So it wasn't a good experience on the PlayStation 4. It wasn't a good experience on the PS5. It wasn't a good experience on the PC. It was such a perfect experience on the Xbox Series X because no other platform can play Death Stranding as well as the glorious Series X has played this game. Do we see how ridiculous it is? And again, I wanted to share that example because it just shows how he gets so upset by me, by others, that just gotta ignore him. Just gotta ignore him because, yeah, I would ignore me too because you have receipts galore, nonstop, foot and mouth. You're constantly saying the dumbest stuff. You're constantly showing your true colors. You're constantly doing this, that, and the other. It's just real simple mathematics when you put 2 and 2 together. And you show how inconsistent you are, you show the lies you spread, you show your biasness to a T. It is what it is. But that being said, we will wrap up the video here at that point. But I do want to end with a quick little TED Talk, folks. Obviously, as of late, people are very, very upset with other content creators, especially they feel anti-Xbox, which again, let me preface this every single time. And yes, there's that word again. Every single time in almost every video anymore. I state, play where you want. Play where you want to have fun. What makes sense to you? If you want to play on Xbox, play on Xbox that makes you happy. Just don't be a fanboy where you're spreading the delusion. You're living in this delusional world. Don't do that to yourself. Just be honest. Be like, yeah, I'm not sure the direction Xbox. I'm still going to go with whatever they're doing. If it's this PC hybrid console thing, whatever the direction is, you're such a fan, you want to stay with it, it makes you happy, then do it. That's okay. But don't act like they didn't screw up and this is now the direction they have to go. Just be honest and have fun. Do what you're going to do. If you're going to play Nintendo, great. If you're going to play on PlayStation, great. If you're going to play on PC, great. It's okay to play on these platforms, even exclusively because it's your favorite platform. Or if you want to own it all and play on everything evenly or not evenly, whatever the case is, it's okay. But I'm not the bad guy telling you not to play somewhere, not to do something. I'm saying what this example is, because there's a lot of new faces coming across here. They feel the need that I'm doing all this dogging and dunking myself because there's an agenda. There's no agenda. This was asked by the community to have a perspective here, to show the delusion, to have some fun, to show the nonsense. I don't like people spreading misinformation or putting different words into others' mouths. These are posts, not doctored videos. This is what it is, guys. This is what the examples are. They're upset, and when they're that upset, that means you were doing something right. And this isn't going to stop anytime soon because we're having fun and we're stopping the misinformation and we like to poke fun at it. Simple as that. Don't want to be featured on this channel? Don't say stupid stuff. Don't spread information, misinformation. Do not spread false equivalencies. Do not make stuff up. Do not make yourself look like an idiot. Simple as that. Enjoy what you want. But you know, the reason you do that is because you guys are grifters out there. The ones that are upset, attack the channel, attack me, attack other content creators that don't align with their views. They're the bad guys. They're the heroes. It's not that simple. It's not that black and white. And you guys are grifters. Ultimately, at the end of the day, anybody attacking me is the ones that are being grifters. Simple as that. And I don't care. Do what you gotta do. It generates traffic. It generates word of mouth. All that stuff. Nothing I'm saying is untrue. That being said, I'll wrap up the video after that little mini TED Talk, so to speak. And I do appreciate that, guys. Every like, every comment. Would love to hear from you down below. Both those things do help out the algorithm. Of course, if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. Definitely moving our way to that 3,500 sub goal. Really appreciate that, everybody. I really, really, truly do. And of course, at the end of the day, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.